Hi, everybody. I am Shelly B, a conservative Black sister surviving in a hot mess world. And a hot mess it is indeed. And tonight's hot mess is China bans beauty filters. Now, it's very interesting why China is banning beauty filters. And I wonder if this is ever going to make its way to the States because it's going to be a lot of ugly out here. If beauty filters are banned because I feel like people are doing a lot with the beauty filters. And tonight I came across this video by a gentleman named Simp Saver Sam. And I actually like these channels. And sometimes I share it with my son because it really is guys' opinions on women and, a position that most women just don't know or accept about how guys feel about things. Now, there's a few guys that have pages like this. This guy, Simp Saver Sam, there's a few of them that I watch because it's very interesting. Like I said, that I always like to see men's perspectives on things, mainly because I have a son and it's interesting to hear how they really think because I'm a woman. But before we get into that, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it if you would do so. It takes nothing just to subscribe to the channel. Just click subscribe. Like the videos, comment, do whatever you can to help us sister out. Now, we're going to watch this video because this is a trip. Now, I am also guilty of using beauty filters, but not to the magnitude of some of these. This is unbelievable. So let's watch this because a lot of people are out here making a lot of money presenting themselves in one way, and they really don't look anything at all like their I don't know, their avatar or whatever, because it's not them at all. And people invest a lot of money into these people. And in China, they're saying that it's like a social contagion that people are just not used to knowing what a real human looks like. And people are interacting with people online and they just are not who they say they are. And we are guilty of using these filters. And it is addicting because you do look flawless with the filters. I use a moderate filter on my podcast. I will show you how I look without my filter, without my lights, everything, because I do look like myself. Even when I was a model, I didn't like a lot of retouching to my pictures. And I started modeling at a time before they had Photoshop and all that stuff. So you really couldn't look too messed up because it was only the minimal amount of things that, they could really retouch without looking obvious. So let's watch this video because this is a mess. This really is a mess because these girls, and you don't really see men doing this. Women do this. And it's like, they're not doing it for guys because guys do not care about this. I don't think guys really care all that much about women's looks like the way we do. I don't know. I don't even know what to think of it. Why we do this. But let's watch this video. This guy's a trip too. So let's listen.
Filters are being banned and the reason is scary. So for those who don't know, China is planning to ban this stuff. So women have to start showing their real faces. Because we know guys are getting scammed left, right, and center. They see a girl online, they go to meet them, and a flipping wildebeest turns up.
Wait, why did he say wildebeest? Let me make this bigger for a second so y'all can see, because this is diabolical. I mean, look at this girl's skin texture. I mean, that's very, I don't know I guess it's very, disingenuous, I guess. And it's what do they call that? Catfished. If you come across somebody like this, because that's huge. That's a huge smooth out this young lady has here. So let's keep listening.
It's not looking good, but I'm all for seeing this stuff. It's a good thing in my opinion, but a lot of these female content creators are panicking now because they think what's going on in China is going to make its way into the Western world.
January 1st. That's when thousands of women's careers end. Not because they did anything wrong, but because for the first time, they have to show their real faces. In China, AI beauty filters are being banned. But the
Good.
panic has revealed something very sinister. Why would banning a simple filter destroy entire careers? Why is
Because they're using a filter that literally creates them to not even look like the person behind the camera. They look like a completely different person. It's borderline scamming.
the West suddenly rushing to do the same thing? And what did they discover that made them act so fast? Welcome to Glow Up Girl. Today we're uncovering why AI beauty filters are being banned, so be sure to like and subscribe because we're going deep. Beauty mode doesn't just smooth your skin, it rebuilds your entire face,
Yeah.
according to an algorithm's definition of beauty. Turn on the filter.
And it really does, because I mean, sometimes you just want a little filter, smooth you out, make you look pretty or whatever. But some of them really put a ton of makeup on your face. They change your features completely, and I really hate that. That's why I always put like a moderate amount, because it does start to look crazy. She looks like a painting, not even a real person. Everything is so over exaggerated, and it's just crazy.
And you become someone else entirely. Your eyes reshape.
And that's what it comes down to. They are creating themselves to look completely different. That shouldn't happen.
Your nose pinches smaller. Your skin becomes porcelain. Reality bends.
Yeah.
Turn it off? Well, that's the problem. 99.8% of female streamers use beauty filters.
Now, I have a beauty filter on here too. So let's turn it off just for, to be, realistic with it for me too. All right, so I have two lights and I have a moderate filter. So let's start with turning the filter off. Let's turn the filter off. So you guys can see how I look unfiltered. I always use just a moderate filter just to smooth out everything and make yourself look, smooth and clean and bright, So I'm going to turn off my filter. And let's see. Now filter's off. This is me as myself, no filter. I have a little makeup on, little blush, little highlighter, because you do need something. I have a little bit of eyeliner on. I don't have any foundation on. I hate foundation. I hate too much of a makeup look. And this is how I look without the filter. Now, lighting can do a whole lot to help you too. You can getting good lighting look amazing too without a filter. So I'm going to turn off my light. I actually have two lights, one coming from this way and one coming from this way. So let's see. Now the light's going to do a lot to, change a lot too. So let's see. Let me turn off my big light so you guys can see. Because I would never want anybody say that I don't look like myself, okay? I look very much like myself with my moderate filter and lighting. All right, let's turn this off. Now, this is me, no light, no filter. This is me, my real teeth, everything. This is how I look, okay? This is me, this is how I look. All right, so I'm going to put the light on, though, so you can see me. But this is me unfiltered. So I do look very much similar or the same as I do without my filter. I mean, as I do with the filter. I just use the filter just to brighten everything and get the lighting right and smooth my face out a little bit and look, nice and bright or whatever. So I'm going to put my light back on. You can see how much the light does, but this is me with no filter, okay? Put my little side light back on. Okay, there you go. Now this is me with no filter. So just to be authentic for the rest of this video, I'm not going to use my filter. But for anybody just tuning in, I'm going to show you how I look with the filter and without it. Okay, I'm going to show you how I look with it. I use a moderate filter. This is the moderate filter. And this is a maximum filter. Okay, I'm going to show you like a lot. Okay, that's a lot. I think that's a lot. That it's too smooth that it does look natural. So I just use a little bit, just a very small amount. This is the lowest amount of filter for this program or whatever the case may be. Okay, so I'm going to turn it off now. So now this is me without any filter. So for the duration of this video, to be authentic and not be like one of these people that they're accusing of not looking like themselves, I am filter free for this podcast. Okay, let's listen the rest of the way.
Not
Wow. So you're talking almost all of them? I'm not really surprised, but damn.
just most, almost all. These women built entire careers on
Almost all do use filters. Almost every picture y'all see online on the internet, girls use Snapchat. I'm guilty. I'm guilty of doing it. We all do it because it does look nice and it smooths you out and it looks nice. I don't like when they put the fake makeup on. I hate that, but it is what it is. I try to use the ones that just do a little bit. But women are like that. What can we say? But some of these are very drastic. Let's watch.
on faces that don't exist. Thousands of followers, donations from devoted fans, all for someone who was never real. We've spent years watching faces that don't actually exist. And
These guys should know better, but it still shouldn't happen, especially when these girls are making bank off a face which is completely edited and AI.
we've been conditioned to think they're beautiful. But when you learn what it's doing to your brain, things get dark. There's
Now,
a
this is the interesting part about why China banned beauty filters and why it might end up everywhere, because it is psychological ramifications to not accepting your own beauty. Okay. So y'all better pay attention and y'all might want to, turn down your filter a little bit and try to ease yourself, out of it. Because if they cut these filters, some of y'all gonna be gagging. Some of y'all gonna really be gagging.
psychological concept called cultivation theory. Long-term exposure to media content shapes what you believe is real. When you see filtered faces every single day, thousands of them, your brain starts accepting them as normal. Real faces start to look wrong.
And that shit is true. Because when you see yourself unfiltered in a picture or you see yourself in bad light in a picture, you're going to take that over and over again till you catch the right lighting. And if you can't catch the right lighting, you're going to throw a filter on there until you feel you look the way you want to look. We are all guilty. That's why you take a selfie 99 times, because you ain't catching that light right. You're not catching the right angle. Something ain't right that you don't like that you're seeing on your face. You know what I mean? So we're all guilty.
Research shows
Well, it's true. It's like guys now, a lot of young guys like girls who are just caked in makeup. They got BBLs, boob jobs, all this stuff. When most guys who are a bit older appreciate a woman who's natural. Because we've seen all this.
I hate a lot of makeup. I always did. Even when I was a model, I hated makeup. Like even now, I don't have any foundation. I hate foundation, and I don't like the fact that it gets on your clothes and stuff like that. Today, I like blush. Give it a little definition to your cheeks. So I have blush, I have highlighter, eyebrows for sure. Eyebrows, my eyebrows are light, and I have a little bit of eyeliner and mascara. When I come on here in my regular life, eyebrows, mascara, maybe blush, but I feel like I wear the same regardless of whatever I'm doing. I just don't like a lot, and I like to look natural as possible.
This stuff, and it's not appealing to look at.
that comparing yourself to idealized images online is directly linked to body dissatisfaction and eating disorders. But there's a twist. You're not competing with other women anymore. You're competing with AI.
How about that? You're not competing with other women anymore. You're competing with AI, and you're never going to win that competition ever. So it is something to be said for learning to accept yourself as you are. That's the reason why I said I can't do this podcast if I don't turn off my filter, because it's disingenuous, because we all do it and we all, have these issues. I mean, and the older you get, the more you're going to want to filter and not going to like what you see, and I did a podcast a couple weeks ago about people not really knowing what somebody in their 50s and up looks like, because everybody has so much plastic surgery. You see celebrities filtered and, retouched and lit immaculately and all this and that. No one really knows what that looks like. And then a woman at that age doesn't have all of that, you think she's ugly, or you think that she's aging bad, when that's how a woman looks at that age. So it really does do a psychological number on humanity.
Algorithms that generate one perfect face and paste it onto everyone. Then there's self-objectification. When you spend hours monitoring your appearance, treating your face like a product to be upgraded and perfected, Studies show it leads to anxiety and depression. You stop being a person, you become a project. Reality has gotten so distorted that a new medical term has been coined: Snapchat dysmorphia. Women are now seeking plastic surgery to look like their filtered selves. They don't even want to look like models.
When a lot of them don't know that guys don't find that stuff attractive anyway. Young people getting surgery and plastic surgery and Botox, which is a very dangerous thing to do, if anything, makes them look worse.
They want to look like.
And you know what's so true? That men say this all the time. All the time. I work with barbers and I would overhear their conversations all the time. And we would talk and I would ask them things like this. Men do not care if you're fat. They might have preferences, some of them. But most of them do not care if you're fat, skinny, your hair is short, whatever. As long as you are yourself and you have presence and you feel comfortable in your skin and stuff like that. Women do this for other women. Women don't try to say, oh, I did this for myself and I would look good, everything, but I just don't believe that's so. I feel like you want to present to the world in a certain way. If I really feel, because when you're at home, you don't do that for yourself. You do it when you go out and you're presenting to the world. When I'm at home, I don't give a damn about hair, makeup, or anything. I could sit around and not do my hair for 2 or 3 days. I darn sure ain't putting no makeup on just to be at home and beat around. So it like they're saying, it puts people in a false reality and a state of denial about why they do what they do as far as the things they do to their appearance. And it's, I feel like it's just a matter of time before it comes here, because it's as tyrannical as a lot of the world has become. I feel like they are going to stop these filters, because you have no way of telling whose face is real and who is not. Because I guarantee you, most of the pictures of women that you see on the internet are filtered. And I remember when I was modeling, it cost a lot of money. You had to get a professional person to retouch the photo and everything. Now you can get a filter and it looks amazing. It's like very high quality filter and it looks fabulous.
Like the algorithm's version of them. These filters didn't just change how we look online.
That is crazy.
Wait, let me show y'all. Let me make it bigger so y'all can see. So yeah. I mean, it definitely made her look much, much younger. But I honestly feel that her eyes are more expressive without all of the makeup. And she looks great for her age. She has nice skin. She looks good for whatever age that she is. I guess she looks like maybe she's 50, 40-ish, 50-ish. It's hard to say. I'm not really good with judging age and stuff like that. But she is like a full beat on the other side. So I kind of prefer the unbeat version.
Wow.
They've changed what our brains believe we should look like in reality. So why is China banning them? The official reason is to improve content quality and crack down on misleading visuals. But dig further, and deeper reasons emerge. This isn't just about vanity. It's about fraud. Chinese.
Yeah, it is. It is fraud.
It is fraud.
Exactly. And I'm all for it. A lot of people are saying that this stuff shouldn't be banned. I'm all for it being banned. I really am.
Netizens started calling it out directly. Streamers making money through excessive beautification are I
can't get this off. It is a form of fraud if you're not presenting yourself as you truly are. So I feel like if nothing else, they should be made to say that this is a filtered image or whatever. I don't know how that's going to work, but China, they're done. They can't have any more filters. I just can't wait to see, like, a year from now how this works out. Because some of them, they look like little dolls. They're unrecognizable as themselves. When you see these girls without their filters, it's crazy.
Basically committing fraud. But the damage goes far beyond individual deception. It's social poison. One Chinese commentator explained it this way. Men no longer watch TV. They don't look at their own wives. They just scroll on their phones to look at pretty girls who look like fairies.
Well, I think this is a worldwide problem between men and women.
Yeah.
The phones have everything your mind could come up with. It's right there on the phone. People don't even have to go out anymore. Or she's right, appreciate the person you have at home, because they're looking at these fake AI generated flipping super AI models on Instagram all day long.
But those fairies aren't real. Do you think this is beneficial to relationships? To lowering divorce rates? He called it spiritual poisonous grain, not inferior to opium. Women using filters started believing their own illusions. They'd look at their filtered face and
now that's really something. She said women start believing the delusion of their, their filtered face. They believe that's who they really are. They pick up that persona 100%. And I just wonder how they are in real life when they see themselves. It's very fascinating. It's very fascinating. It reminds me, I forget which movie that was, where people, this was decades ago, and people were just like living in like virtual reality land, and they never come out, and they're always in this virtual place where they're amazing. And then if you look at them in real life, they're fat. They just sit on their couch and eat, and they don't leave the house. Their house is dirty, and it's like, as themselves, they're disgusting. But they have this fake character, online, that's a goddess or a hero or something. And it really is psychologically something crazy. It really is. I like my face. I don't like my face overly beat or overly retouched. I just don't. So that's why the filters I use is very moderate. And, this is me without my filter. This is it. This is it. And I don't feel I look that different. Like I said, I'll show you one more time how it looks with the filters I use. I use just a very slight amount. So this is the filter that I use, and this is without. This is without. So I will keep it without for the rest of this video, so you guys can, see. So this is me unfiltered.
think, I'm a 9 out of 10. I deserve a wealthy, tall, handsome man. Their standards skyrocketed, but walk down the street, you wouldn't see a single woman who looked like her online persona.
Is that why women say that they deserve this rich man and they're 10s and they're hot? Because of the way that they perceive these AI versions of themselves? Is it a delusion? What is it?
Yeah, exactly. The women we see on Instagram that are promoted and they get millions of likes, millions of simps, it's just not real. On Instagram,
billions of simps. Now this guy's called Simp Saver Sam, and he's trying to save men from being a simp. And there's a lot of channels like this, and I love to watch these guys because they're actually very hilarious. And they may have a lot of good advice for men, but also women, as to how men really think about things if they're not a simp, or how to avoid being a simp. I have a son. I would never want my son to be a simp.
it's every other swipe you see something like that. But out there in the real world, they're pretty much non-existent.
Beauty mode made them lose themselves. China isn't banning beauty filters because they're vain. They're banning them because they've become a form of mass psychological manipulation. Here's what the Chinese government isn't saying out loud. Across the developed world, something catastrophic is happening. Birth rates are collapsing, marriage rates are plummeting. Young people aren't dating. They're not having relationships. They're not forming families. The United States, most of Europe, China, Japan, South Korea, the pattern is everywhere. And nobody can pinpoint exactly why. Except, what if social...
Well,
And a lot of these kids, I noticed, they don't have any social skills. Because, when we were growing up, that's all we had. That's all we could do is make friends. We do things together in groups. We were always outside participating in things and stuff. And like kids today, they're just not like that. They're not, how would I say? They're not really like masterful at networking and making friends and, getting out and about and, discovering people and having connections and stuff like that. They're just not. Every connection they have is over social media and it's a false reality.
Just about to say, I think she's going to say the same thing, but social media is the number one thing that's destroying lives right now. It's the same with corn. Corn is along the same lines of this. It's all fake. It's all fake.
If you didn't know, they say corn is the most genetically modified vegetable that there is, or food that there is. So corn is not good for us.
Acting, and it's not real. That's not how it goes. The women don't look like that. They don't act like that. And it's just degenerate. And it's the same with these women who have these filters. They're manipulating men. They're committing borderline fraud to get what they want. Yeah, I'm.
And you know what? I feel like men be mad because they could use filters if they want to, but they don't. They don't wear filters. They don't wear weaves. Well, now guys do wear weaves and get little hair pieces and stuff like that more and more and more. It starts a thing, Or they could just shave their head and be bald and they look sexy like that too. Men can't get away with a lot of the things that women do. And as women, we have to really question why we do stuff like this. Because a lot of the things that we do is not for us. It's for other people to look at. It's like this, like how I say, when you have a car, like you want this flashy car. So when people see you driving it, they're like, oh, look what kind of car. But at the end of the day, the only part of the car you're enjoying is the interior of the car. So how comfortable it is and blah, 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 it makes the difference to me with the car. What kind of car and what people think of my status with that car is irrelevant to me, because it's the outside. So I feel like people would have better connections and better relationships with people if they would focus more deeper, into people than just the facade, because that's just the surface and you're usually not going to see the reality of a person like that. And I've figured that out as I've gotten older, that mostly everybody wears a mask and they're fake as hell until you get to know them. One of my mentors told me, you don't know that you don't know. Rest in peace, Mike Chavis. He passed away. I just heard that he passed away yesterday actually. And he did tell me stuff like that, and it's true, So listen, we do have to do better as humans to have deeper connections with each other. And, because the surface doesn't matter and everybody's going to get old. Everybody's going to crack. And eventually you're going to reach a point in your life that it ain't no amount of filters that's going to make you look the way you want to look. You have to accept yourself the way you are. You know what I'm saying? As difficult as it may be sometimes.
I hope it does make its way into the Western world. I really do.
Social media is part of it. Think about it. Men scroll through thousands of digitally perfect women every day. Women no real person could ever compete with. So why would they pursue real relationships? Why settle for reality when the fantasy is always...
Please, these AIs got it where they don't even need the models anymore, the beautiful women in real life that are beautiful, because they can have, AI influencers, AI models and stuff. The only time they need real models now is for runway shows. They don't need real models for advertising. For what? It's much cheaper to have an AI version.
One swipe away. And women compare themselves to these impossible standards and feel worthless.
Well, I think its comparison is the thief of joy, inevitably. Guys are comparing women they see outside to these women they see on the phone, which aren't even real.
Or they demand partners who meet the same fictional criteria they see online. Both sides are chasing illusions. One Chinese man described meeting a woman from a dating app. After seeing her real face, he deleted the app entirely. How many millions of potential relationships died exactly like that? How many marriages never happened because someone couldn't live up to their filtered profile? Meanwhile,
well, they shouldn't have done it in the first place. If girls are going to sell themselves online to look a certain way with all this fake stuff, and then they meet someone and wonders why it goes to shit,
To
that's
me,
on.
that just seems crazy that you're going to present yourself to somebody like completely not who you are. Like, I know people, they have filters that you could use to make your body look smaller and all that stuff. Everybody knows I'm a full figure girl. Even when I was a model, I was modeling at a size 12, 14. You know what I mean? And I've been the same size much of my life, give or take 10 to 20 pounds. So I've never been that skinny person. I'm not presenting like that at all. And I'm comfortable and happy, you know, in the body that I have. Give or take, I wouldn't mind losing a few pounds here and there, and I lose and I gain back and forth. Whatever the case may be, I am mostly happy with the way I look, you know. Of the things I can change, like I can exercise, you know, you don't like your body, you know, I do weight training and stuff. You know, there's things you could do to better that, you know, skincare and stuff like that, not smoking. I mean, I spend a lot of time in the sun. People tell me not to, but I can't help it. I just love being outdoors, you know. So you try to do as many things that bring you joy. That keeps you youthful too. A lot of people don't believe. I actually turn 55 tomorrow. Tomorrow's my birthday and I turn 55. People cannot believe that I am 55, even though I feel 55 sometimes. My life experience definitely says 55, but for whatever reason, people think that I don't look 55 years old. And that's because I really try not to stress too much. I try to eat decent. Sometimes I get falling on and off of that bad bandwagon. Nobody's perfect, but I definitely try to take care of my skin. I definitely like to rest. Getting sleep also helps with all of those things. So it's a lot that you can do, you know, and just working on your inside, your inner self, you know, will take away a lot of those needs to, you know, be superficial and please people on the outside. Don't get me wrong. I would be the first person to change something about myself if it really bothered me. What do they say? If your right hand spites you, cut it off or whatever. You know what I mean? So, you know, I feel like we live in a society where you can make changes, but I just feel like some people really, really OD and they're never satisfied. I feel like if you learn to love yourself the most, you're not going to really care what other people think. And then you're going to give off a frequency of somebody else that don't care what nobody else is going to think. And they're going to accept you and love you the way you are.
Them. That's on them. But most guys can see it now. When something isn't looking right, guys are starting to see it now.
While the divorce rate climbs, both men and women scroll through endless fantasy, convinced they're settling for less, convinced their reality isn't good enough.
That's true.
Filters might be destroying our ability to form real human connections, to see real people as attractive, and to accept reality as good enough. China's birth rate is in free fall.
That is true because just a man, for example, they're not gonna like Kevin Samuels is a perfect example of like women that, you know, oh, you think you're 10, well, I think you're 2 or whatever. You know what I mean? Because a lot of the times they're comparing to models or, you know, women that are all done up and, you know, spend their lifetime in the gym and, you know, just like a very small minority of women that look like that. And just like the women, they're thinking that they deserve some rich billionaire or whatever, and they really don't bring anything to the table either. So everybody's just like very delusional of what a real human connection and relationship should be.
Their economy depends on population growth. So this isn't just about beauty anymore. This might be about survival. When the ban was announced, the panic was immediate.
You better believe for China, it's about that. Because remember, there was a time in China where they had so many people that they gave incentives to not have kids. Now their population is dwindling, and now they're trying to get people to make babies. So, and people just are not forming connections because everybody's so damn superficial. And, you know, I feel like people wouldn't be so broke and struggling if people could work together and build, but they can't because they're on a superficial level and they don't make really strong, you know, spiritual and emotional connections with people. So, you know, you can take or leave somebody that you're not connected to.
90% of streamers will all lose their jobs, one broadcaster predicted. If those female streamers turn off that beauty filter, they really cannot be looked at.
This is the sad thing. A lot of these girls don't even need these filters because guys would appreciate a woman who's naturally good looking rather than see this AI generated fake dolled up to the brim makeup stuff. A lot of young guys, yeah. But guys, if anything, real guys appreciate a woman who's natural from head to toe.
Not be looked at. It will scare the viewers so much they'll doubt life, she said. These women built everything on a digital mask. Their entire persona, their income, and their identity.
Yeah, so once you start, you can't go back. Yeah, you can't. They got to keep doing it, living the lie.
So what happens when that mask is ripped off? Viewers will stop donating. The men who've spent thousands supporting their favorite streamers will feel betrayed. Careers will collapse
But
over.
it definitely is going to force people to look deeper. And I feel like through this, and you don't see the fake images anymore, it's going to make you look deeper into a person and connect with them on a deeper level than just the physicals, the surface level of the person. So I do think it could be a good thing. People will have to reinvent themselves. They're going to have to dig deeper for their personality to shine. It's not just going to be based on the way they look.
Those guys that are doing that anyway are just lost. Why are guys donating money to girls online? They don't even know. Like, I do not understand people that sit there and watch female streamers all day long, giving them money. What are they doing with themselves? I'll never understand it personally. Maybe some of you can help me out in the comments.
Some women fought back defensively. I paid thousands for this phone. I'll use beauty mode if I want. What does it have to do with you? Others insisted, even with beauty mode, you need good bone structure. If you're ugly, even level 10 beauty mode can't.
I mean, these look ridiculous. They look just like they said earlier, like fairies. They look crazy.
Save you. But underneath the anger was fear, because they know the truth. They built their careers on deception, and now they're being forced to show their real faces. And that doesn't get the same view count.
Well, makeup's been doing this for a long time on a different level, but this AI stuff is even more.
But to me, makeup just enhances the beauty that's there if it's not too overdone. Because like even now, like I have a small like liner and mascara because it'll give my eyes more definition. It just, you, especially on camera, your features just look very flat if you don't have any type of highlighting and contouring to your face. You know, we've been using makeup since the beginning of time. Cleopatra, you know, African culture, they always wore makeup, and it is what it is. Even in African culture from the beginning, we wore wigs and hair pieces and stuff. You know, I'm a person whose life is based in beautification. I'm a cosmetologist, and that is just the study of beautification products and services and different things. So my whole life revolves around that. And I have to say, even though I earn my living in beautification, I just feel like the most beautiful people, their beauty exudes from the inside out. Because some of the most beautiful people can have the most bitter inside, can have the most bitter spirit, and they don't exude warmth. You know, so I would say the more you work on this, the more this is going to look better. Because I feel like where the soul is right, the mind and body will follow it. And I just feel like I work with an elderly actress, and she had to be like 80. Of course, she was wrinkled. She had no work done or whatever. But I thought she was so beautiful, just what she exuded and the confidence that she had. And she looked beautiful on camera for a woman that age. She looked amazing. And she just had such of a beautiful presence. And that just always stuck with me. that no one's going to be young forever, and eventually your beauty is going to fade. And what are you going to have after that? I don't care what kind of filter you use. You're going to look like a damn fool after a while trying to put a filter on to look like you're 30 when you're 60 and 70. It just looks crazy. To overwork your face with too many, surgeries and stuff. I mean, I get it. I don't mind. Like, for me, if I had a lot of loose skin or something, I would just rather just have it removed. You know what I'm saying? I'm not too keen on, having anybody putting stuff in my face and Botox that's not for me. It's not for me. So this is something that, I can't wait to see how this works out over there after about a year of it. And how are these people going to survive, being that they survived on their, beauty, quote unquote, and these, AI filtered faces? What are they going to do? What are women going to do? Are y'all scared over here in America that they'll say no more beauty filters and you have to show your real face? It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy.
It's like a level up from makeup. We've all met girls who, one wet wipe, different person. But this is just a different level of scamming right now. It is a different level of catfishing.
So, could America be next? Well, it's already starting here. TikTok announced they're banning certain beauty filters for users under 18. Filters like bold glamour that dramatically reshape facial features, gone for minors.
This isn't healthy for women too, because they see themselves this way. They get a lot of attention this way. They're going to see themselves as not good enough. This isn't a good thing for both sides.
And in Europe, they're investing nearly 2 billion euros into safety initiatives, whatever that means. Mental health experts are calling this a necessary step. If teenagers stop using filters now, they might gradually normalize a more authentic online presence. China bans it, TikTok restricts it for minors, Instagram and Snapchat are watching.
Just ban it across the board for everyone. Like back in the day, you could have filters on webcam, which was like silly stuff. Yeah, I get that. But these filters are literally...
I don't see anything wrong with like a lighting filter or a smoothing filter. Where it kills me is where because even as a model, we used to get our pictures retouched and it's not changing your features. It's just removing a pimple, smoothing out skin texture a little bit or whatever. Not even nothing crazy drastic, Maybe, if you had eyebrow hairs or something, they'll take them off or what, just like little things. If you had a skin discoloration, they might, blend it. Just little simple things. Not where they come in and change your face shape, make your face slimmer or, change your whole skin tone 20 shades lighter. I used to hate that as a model when they would change my skin tone and make me lighter. I hated that, but they would do it a lot. Just blow you out where you look real light. And I used to really hate that because I prefer to be more brown as much as possible. And like, this is my color in the wintertime, but everybody knows in the summertime, I'm like 10 shades darker because I stay outside in the sun and I love to be outdoors. So this is going to be crazy because I know it's a matter of time before it comes here, because they're always trying to figure out ways to identify us and tyrannical policies, to identify every last person, So I know that they're going to make it where, they might start banning the filters or whatever. And I feel like it's just humans are always like this. They always do too much. Always go overboard of what is enough. And that is what causes the problem. Because I don't see anything wrong with a beauty filter. But if you're going to change your eye shape, your nose, your lips, and it just doesn't look anything like you, that's crazy to me that you're going to say that is you. I hate over retouched pictures. I hate that look. You know, it's a balance. To me in life, everything is about balance, 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 balance. And if you don't start here and you don't love yourself enough here, that's how you find people that start looking like Michael Jackson, where they're just doing more and more and more and more and more. They're just never happy with themselves. They're never going to look in the mirror and see something that they like because they're just not happy here. So you got to do the work here first. And then you probably won't care as much, or you'll care, but you'll feel better and be in reality of like, oh, this is how I'm supposed to look at this age. I look at my mom. My mom's 70 some odd years old. She looks great for her age. You know, I'm happy with the way my mama looks, you know. So, you know, I just feel like, you know, we hold on to the past too much and it's not reality. And they say that, you know, it takes, you know, imagination to, you know, dwell in the past. It takes imagination to worry about the future. You know, just stay in the moment and enjoy your life. Like, you know, I don't assess too much over beauty. You know, I prefer to make connections with people and learn to like people on the inside. Because, like I said, I work in the beauty business my whole entire life from a kid. And some of the most beautiful people are the worst and some of the most insecure.
Making you look like a 10 out of 10 when you're a 3 out of 10, realistically.
He said a 3.
It shouldn't happen. It shouldn't.
And closely, the domino effect has begun. But here's where it gets complicated. On one hand, there's a strong case for bans. We're protecting young girls from impossible beauty standards. We're ending mass deception. We're forcing people to be authentic, sincere, and real.
Yeah, ban it. Ban it. All these female streamers that are doing it, they could have just started streaming the same as what they're doing now, but just not use the filters. Why not just do it yourself? Why have you got to lie to people? We know why. But you shouldn't have done it in the first place. So yeah, ban them.
But on the other hand, isn't it your face, your choice? Film and television use makeup, color grading, and effects.
Yes, we do.
Why are filters different? Some women genuinely feel empowered and confident using them. Who gets to decide what's too much? And government censorship is an extremely slippery slope.
I don't see the positive to any of this. For both sides, men and women, this is bad, real bad.
Give an inch and they'll take a mile. Before you know it, you won't be able to log in online without 3 layers of biometric identification. And here's the uncomfortable middle ground. What if the problem isn't the filter? What if the problem is that we created a world where women felt they needed to hide their real faces to be valued? A ban might not ever fix that. An entire industry has been built on women who don't exist in reality. Billions of dollars, millions of hours, all spent on faces that were...
And when you look at a lot of and like I said, I've been in the beauty business my whole life. So we're used to, you know, retouching and fixing. And I feel like that fashion, film and stuff like that, they create this because so much goes into the way that these women look. And the average everyday woman thinks something's wrong with them because they don't look that way. And now today it's so easy to look like that. Because like I said, back in the day, you know, you did have to have some level of natural beauty because they can only do but so much to fix it. They couldn't really do a lot. Like when I first started modeling, they were still airbrushing. They cannot airbrush too much because they're doing it right on top of the picture and the client's going to see right away they airbrush something too much and now they wondering what's wrong with the person. You know, maybe a little pimple, maybe a little bit under the eye. Like whoever is doing the retouching, it has to be it was a huge skill to retouch those pictures because it could just be so minuscule. The photographers had to be very good at lighting. Today it don't matter. But they used to have to be very good at lighting to get that skin and get that face to look in a certain way where it didn't require a lot of retouching. You had to pick people that had good skin and this and that. And it was a very small group of people that actually looked like that. Now, Anybody can look like that with the click of a button. Even when they started digitally retouching when I was modeling, they still would do minimal things. Maybe if your waist looked too big, your thighs look too big. I remember one time I wore underwear for something, they made my thighs look thinner. I thought it looked weird, but they made my thighs look thinner. They would do little things, but it wasn't to change your whole features and make your eyes bigger and your face shape different. It's crazy today. So that's what I feel is different, that these people do not look anything like themselves. Like if you saw a person, you'd be like, oh, that's Shelly or whatever. Some of these girls, they don't look nothing like they do in person. You wouldn't even, they're unrecognizable is the point.
A lot of it is delusion intertwined with confusion. Because guys, you let me know, how many women have you met or seen that look 100 times better with no makeup? I know the young people of today, they'll see
I can agree to that. Because I feel like for lighting, you need makeup because it's going to wash you out. That's why I always come in here, put my eyebrows and a little bit of liner or whatever. Just a little bit to give the face some definition. Because once you put that light on, everything is just going to look flat. So that's why you need makeup. In real life, you do not need, the more light, the more makeup you're going to need. The more blown out it is, the more makeup. But in real life, you don't need a lot of makeup. You just look like a clown. You look like a clown. In real life, beat up like that. Especially when you're not going anywhere and you're just going. Somebody hugged me one time and they got makeup all over my clothes. What the hell is that? You don't ever want to have that much. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. You know what I mean? And like, I hate when I would wear makeup and then to get on your coat collar and stuff. Like, I just don't like that. You take your sweater off and you got makeup and it gets all in the inside of your sweater and stuff like that. So, you just have to learn to accept yourself, And like I say, this is where people have to really realize is the bottom line. Because I've been in fashion, entertainment, all different realms and levels of it. Okay. It's entertainment. And most of it is enhanced and not real. It's illusion. People are actors, whatever. Don't believe anything you see. Period. Because in the world of entertainment, people are there to entertain. Nothing realistic happening in entertainment.
Go online who hasn't got makeup and they'll comment saying she's chopped, she's this, she's ugly, all this stuff. But they're just as delusional as these women are. Because they think a woman has to be glammed up 24/7 to look good.
Yep. Never real. Now the Chinese government is forcing them to face reality, and people are calling it oppressive. But ask yourself this. If someone built their entire career on catfishing millions of people, would you defend that? Because that's what this is.
I feel like don't hate the player, hate the game, and hate the fools that's getting played. I mean, really, that's how I feel about that. Why would you give your money to somebody, a random person that you don't know on the internet? What do you think you're going to achieve and get from that? So just like the guy said, he's a simp saver. Simp saver Sam. So he's trying to help people and warn them about things, So I love these channels of these guys because, it's funny, but not funny how men really think about women. And he is right that most men don't like when women have makeup on. Now, if you're going out somewhere special or whatever, I think that, they don't mind, but just to be in a full beat all the time, it's just crazy. I feel like it's a lot of confidence to put your natural self out there. This is going to be crazy. I can't wait to see how this ends up.
Mass catfishing.
Ban 'em.
At scale. For profit. And it isn't just that filters deceived us. It's that we wanted to be deceived. We chose the beautiful lie over the ordinary truth.
Yeah, they chose to do this. I know a lot of them are going to play the victim, but they chose to do this, and they took money off people pretending to be this person.
But you have to hold accountable the dummies that fall for it and pay for these people. I saw one episode of Catfish where the girl was beautiful. I'm not saying that he does not deserve a beautiful woman, but like sometimes if something is too good to be true, it is. And he just would not accept that girl was catfishing him, and he didn't even make a lot of money. He was like an Uber driver. He was giving this girl all his money. And even when they showed him that the girl was catfishing him, he still was trying to send her money like he was just a sheep or a simp. Like he just would not accept that the girl did not love him and she was playing him. So if it's too good to be true, it probably is. And you have to vet people like this.
Yep.
And maybe that's the real reason this ban cuts some of us so deeply. It's not taking away filters. It's taking away permission to live in denial. So, I've got a real question for you. If every filter disappeared from your phone right now, how would you feel?
Wouldn't care. Wouldn't care.
If that happens, y'all, you just have to get in the right light. It's all about the lighting and the angles. Okay? If you get in the right lighting, in the right angle, you'll look 100 times better. Guaranteed. You understand? So, there are ways to make yourself look decent without, putting a filter on. Like I just turned my filter on for this podcast because I'm like, how can I do a podcast about women using filters and have on a filter? So, like I said, I use moderate filters, but some people go really hard. I just want everybody to know that I do look like myself on these podcasts. Okay, so don't think that, come on. Because people will say, oh, Shelly says she used the filter. So that's why I turned it off. So you guys can see how moderate it was.
Yeah, I don't think you guys would either. But these people are literally committing fraud. They are. So it's got to go.
Relieved or terrified? If it's the second one, that's the problem they're trying to solve. Not the filter itself. The fact that you need it to feel worth looking at.
David Gaynor says, it's your face. If you want to paint on yourself because you don't have paper, it's your prerogative. I agree. Like I said, I agree. However, is it catfishing? Is it fraud? If you're presenting yourself to people in one way and you're not, well, I feel like the beauty industry does it all the time because all of these beauty products you see, they have makeup, the pictures are retouched, you have this beautiful model with perfect skin. So, I mean, we're always doing it. So I don't see the big deal, honestly, but I do just, in my personal opinion, feel that some of the filters today really do alter the facial features completely. It's not just painting David and putting on makeup. I feel like it's just a complete change of your eye shape, the nose shape, the face shape, the teeth color, the teeth shape. It's creating a whole different person. Putting on makeup and adding some lighting and some good camera angles or whatever, that's one thing. But to have an AI version of yourself that looks nothing like you, it's weird. So, that's what I think they're saying. And they're saying that it's, it's causing people to be very delusional and mentally unstable, very insecure, lots of different reasons why the Chinese government is saying why they don't want their people to have these beauty filters anymore. So I feel like maybe like they do with AI videos, they should have some type of disclosure that this is a, AI generated image. They do it with AI videos. They should just do it. Like, if it's, I don't know, it's a lot of weeds and it's a very slippery slope. I don't really know what to think of it because I work in the beauty business. And I know we use all of these things. Whenever you see, any type of beauty advertisement or a movie or film, it's retouched, it's lit. I mean, you have a whole lighting department of a bunch of people to make somebody look good on camera. That's without hair and makeup and all the other things they doing, and in post-production, color correction, just that. So they just figured out a way to make it where now it's cheap and anybody can utilize it. Do I have a problem with it? Not at all, because I use filters all the time. You know, like I said, I don't really like filters that do too much. I like my features the way they are. I don't like when it changes my features drastically. You know, I want to look like myself still. But you know, if you use it, you use it. But if you're getting catfished, that's fraudulent, wouldn't it be? So that's the discussion and that's the debate about it. And this guy just seems like he's just over it. He just think it should be banned completely. But I definitely don't agree with that.
Entire generation of women grew up believing their real faces weren't good enough, that pores were mistakes, that texture.
Well, 99.9% of people using these filters are women, right? Dudes just aren't doing this, really.
Was a flaw, that aging was something to hide, fix, and erase. We didn't just normalize filters, we made them feel mandatory. So if you made it this far, let me know, honestly. Would you support a filter ban? Comment
Yes.
either relieved or terrified. And if you want to go even deeper,
I do not support a filter ban. I don't support a filter ban, but I don't like the government to regulate anything, honestly, because I don't trust them to tell me what to do. I don't want them to tell me what to do. As soon as you give away your rights, it's like there's more that's going to come with it. So I just feel that they just want to figure out a way to, you know, it's just a tyrannical way to verify everybody and make sure they can say who is who. That's how I see that. But at the same time, you know, some people do too much, but that's why you have to have discernment when you're on the internet, and remember that it is entertainment and people are on here trying to make money. If you're giving them money, question why and what you're getting for the money. And if you're not getting anything in exchange, you're probably a cent, like Cent Saver Sam is saying.
into why modern faces look so uncanny and what it's doing to women's mental health, check out my video about why nobody looks human anymore. I'll link it on screen right now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Well, we're just resorting back to people looking human again. That's all it is.
Yeah.
I don't see any problem with it. They've got thousands of pounds worth of makeup, thousands of pounds worth of plastic surgery.
And features look very distorted, like the mouth and the teeth, and you know, everything just looks a little distorted. The nose shape is different. You know, I don't know. I don't know what to think of it, y'all. What do you guys think?
They're still using filters. Make that make sense. How often do we go outside? I'm asking everyone this question. How often do you go outside and see a perfect person? I'm talking a perfect human being.
No one is perfect. That's why on a photo shoot, you have a photographer, creative director, hair, makeup, all these people. Then even after they take the pictures, they're going to retouch them, color correct, and do all these things to present an image to you to buy a product or to buy clothes or whatever they're selling. Discernment. You just have to have discernment. I tell you all the time, if you don't have discernment, you need to look it up and find out what it is and get it. Find it. Figure it out.
Never happens, does it? Never happens. But online, you scroll and all of a sudden all these perfect people pop up because it's fake. And I find it funny how all these women say being fat is beautiful, but no one uses a fat filter, do they?
Listen, he's right. He's right. The truth is the truth. No matter who delivers it. And this is true. If being overweight was so great, I mean, and they do have fat filters. They do. But they're more used as a joke. You know what I mean? Because nobody, despite what people say, everybody would prefer to be slim, be able to shop in a regular store, be fit, be able to take the stairs and be healthy. Everybody wants that. Thus, Ozempic and why so many people are on it. So the delusion is real.
I just realized that fake faces, fake personalities, all this stuff being banned, I'm happy. I'm really happy about it because it feels like now when you go online, all these girls are starting to look the same.
Yes.
I
And
don't
it's
know.
just like when people get surgery, they all start having that same pie face look or the same look of surgery because they're all trying to achieve the same thing. So it's weird.
If I'm the only one who feels that way, but there's nothing unique about these women you see on the internet anymore. All these flipping models, these supermodels you see pop up. I feel like I'm just looking at the same person every time because they're saying the filters are being used to make them feel better, but it's not. It's making them feel worse. That's why they're using them. And the long-term effect of using those filters is damaging to women. So I'm on the side of banning it. You guys let me know what you think down in the comments. Let me know.
Well, there's the link to there's a link in the description of this live stream on a YouTube channel. So you could watch it. You could watch other videos by either this man or the young lady that created the original video. I do not agree with a filter ban. I don't, like I said, I don't like anything that the government is forcing on us because I know at the end of the day, it's going to be something tyrannical that's going to come with more rights being lost with it. I just feel like people should learn how to balance and have sense and discernment, like just know that the internet is a form of entertainment. It just is. I don't care if you're watching the news or anything that you watch, it's entertainment. And you can't necessarily, think that people have your best interests at heart on the internet. And I don't know. I don't know how this is going. And I don't even know what to think because my whole life has been in the beauty industry. And I'm just letting y'all know that I feel like what's happening is nothing hasn't been done. It's just cheaper now and an everyday person can do it. The changing of the features is weird, but beauty filters, that's nothing new. It's not. So I'd like to know what y'all think about it, but I'm going to go. I am Shelly B. I tried to come on here with something a little more lighthearted today because so much is going on. And I just didn't feel like talking about politics today, even though that this boils down to politics too. Everything is political. People say, I don't do politics. Yes, you do, because everything ends up going back to being political. Everything. Even this. It's a political reason why they want the filter bans, because they want people to interact more, have better better connections and create babies and have families and keep their population and keep their, their group and their nation going. Because if no one has babies, their population will eventually die off completely. So that's why it's political, why they don't want filters. They don't care about anybody's mental health. They care about trying to save the future of their people. So I love to know what people think about this. I can't wait I'm going to look at this very closely because, like I said, I work in the beauty business. So I want to know where this is going to go. But I'm Shelly B. This means I love you in sign language. And I do. If you came and sat and watched this at any time, today, tomorrow, months from now, I appreciate anybody that sits through and watch these videos with me. I really appreciate all the people that support this channel, all the people that support my Instagram page. Y'all are the best. I really, really appreciate it. I really do. So spread love, love yourself, love the face that you're given. This is my unfiltered face, y'all. Okay. So don't be trying to come for me. Okay. This is my unfiltered face. I will have my filter on next time I come on here though, because I like the way it looks. Okay. Matter of fact, I'm put it back on now so y'all can see. This is just how fast you can change up. Okay. So this is my filter face. This is the filter that I use. Some people go hard, but I just like a little minimal filter, so this is the filter face. Okay. So I love y'all. I appreciate you so much. I really do. Have a wonderful weekend. I hope to see you all over my long weekend. I don't know. I got to figure out what I want to talk about. It's just so much diabolical stuff going on out here. I hope you guys are okay out here. But I'm going to go. I am Shelly B. Thank you for watching me. I appreciate you. I love you. And thanks for watching. And I'll see you on the next one. Good night.